confiscate the money. That girl is a real proud small world, all her friends know me.
So we're back to brand new episode of the Browns franchise mode, and the last episode we played, I believe, I think it's the Buccaneers in the first game of the season. We actually won that one by a score of 21-19. It's a close game, but we end up winning that one anyway. So when it comes to that game, though, it's pretty close, though. Like, we had a big lead, then we went and blew it in, I believe, the second half. Because if you look at the scores right here, yeah, it was like 13 points in the fourth quarter for them. We only get 7. So we blew it in the fourth quarter, but we just came out with the W, just by a close margin. But he popped 220 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Now when it comes to Colt McCoy, though, Colt McCoy came in the last series, threw for 65 yards, but no touchdowns because he ran out of time. But Winston, 126 yards passing, 1 touchdown. It's a very low passing team game, though, obviously, because Keeper Pop only had 220, and along with Winston's 126. But when it comes to rushing, the rushing was our big specialty of today. 131 yards rushing for Duke on 17 attempts for 7.7 per carry and a touchdown. So great game by Duke. And when it comes to Doug Martin, 45, and Keeper Pop, 43 on 5 attempts. And 2 fumbles, though. He fumbled a lot, though. Fumbling, I might need to turn something down in the sliders, because fumbling happens way too often in these games. But when it comes to receiving yards, we do have, it was number 1. Looks like Mike Evans, 81, and a touchdown for the Buccaneers. We have Roland Marmoro, 70 and 7 receptions. Then we have Corey Coleman, 51, and a touchdown. Darrell Green Beckham, 34. Who else? Malcolm Gilmore, 27. Duke Johnson, 20 and 1 touchdown. So Duke Johnson, great game, involved in the offense heavily to that game. But when it comes to blocking, who left sacks? Looks like only Antoine Grace and Jensen, so our worst offensive lineman, left a sack. But defense, see defense for the Browns. So our defense, we had 8 tackles, a team high, 8 tackles by Raheem Moore Sr. He had 2 tackles for a loss. Now let's see the rest, though. Eli Apple had 6 tackles. He had a great game, though. I think he was against Mike Evans. He shut him down completely the entire game, though. Eli Apple, great showing out of him, though. I thought for sure maybe he wouldn't be as good, but Eli Apple, better than expected in that game. But when it comes to the sacks, though, we do have Emory Youngblood, great game out of him. 3 tackles and 1 sack in his first NFL game that actually matters besides preseason. But when it comes to the next one, which is Lacey Green-Ellis, he had half a sack and 6 tackles and 2 tackles for a loss. You have Quan Williams, half a sack. Campbell, half a sack, and Sue had half a sacks. And let's see interceptions, though. No interceptions on the day, though. So special teams, we do have Sam Martin, who did make a field goal, and the rest doesn't really matter too much. So we just came with the W. It was a close game, though, but it was a great game, though, just based on how much action there was in it. So let's go move on to the next thing, which is simulation, and we'll probably sim up to, I believe that Bills game in Week 4 would be a great game to sim up to, because I want to play the Bills just because it's a team I haven't played in a very long time. So our lineup looks pretty good, but one thing, though, is you see Josh Gordon there. He's sitting there 76 overall. He's sitting behind Roland Marmoro, so there's no shot of him making the starting lineup at all, unless there's injuries. So one thing I might do, though, right now is, the offer wasn't there, but we might go and trade Josh Gordon to, I brought back the save file on here, and I went and found the offer again. So you have Josh Gordon. Let's see what the Saints have an offer for him. I believe it is a 2nd and a 5th. Yeah, here it is. So you have a 2nd round pick, 2020 2nd round pick, and a 5th round pick for 2019. It's a pretty good offer, I guess. Let's go try and do it. So we have Josh Gordon for a 2nd and 5th. Let's do it and bring him to New Orleans. So we trade Josh Gordon. We don't need him. He's now on the Saints. He's actually gonna have a good role on the Saints too. I believe he's like the 2nd best overall receiver there. So the Saints, they have some rebuilding to do, though. He got rid of Drew Brees. Now they brought in Josh Gordon. They have a pretty good team there over there in New Orleans. But now up, I think we're good now. I don't want to get rid of Kenny Stills, because just in case one of these guys gets injured, we're screwed. So now next up, we could probably go, and yeah, I guess Odom's already in here. So Odom, he will have I think next game we play against the Bills, we'll probably put him in for a few series just to see how well he plays, because this man has some speed, though. 96 speed, 76 catching, not too bad there, 85 jumping. He does have a pretty good ability down the field, so you gotta watch for Samuel Odom. He probably will have a good game if I use him rightly. So great, hopefully I'll have a good game against the Bills in the next few episodes. But now, one man I forgot about, though, was Ferris. So Cedric Ferris, I might need to get him involved in the game next time, because this man, he's actually pretty young. I think he was undrafted too, and you got to use him a lot more. Plus you have Vince Hanks on here, so you have 2 great overall fullbacks we got to use in the next episode too for the game. So let's go sim up to the next one. I believe the next week, so let's sim to week 2 and see what it looks like in the standings and all. As you can see, the Steelers won, the Ravens won, and we won, so we're all tied for first in the AFC North. I don't want to be tied for first or second or third. I want to be number 1 consistently throughout the entire season. So we got to find a way to be ahead of the other teams in the NFL, or at least our own division. Because the only reason why we didn't make the playoffs last year is the fact that we were third in our division and we lost in the last game of the season. So we can't have that happening again. So let's go and sim to the next week and see if we take this W against those pesky Steelers, though. Hopefully we do. So we take the W against the Steelers. Now we're 2-0 on the season. I'm gonna see this game, though. Hopefully Hoover Bob had a great game. But now the Ravens won, so the Ravens and the Browns tied for first in the AFC North, and the Bengals, they're doing their own thing, 0-2. I guess they're not really doing that good. We won by only, I believe, 2 points again. So very close game once again, back to back. But we've got the W's both times, and that's all that matters. So great game though, rushing wise, passing wise, and we just dominate them, I guess. Let's check out this game though. So Hoover Bob, great game. 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 287 passing, and 100.1 passing rating on the game. But RG3 against his former team, 45-yard passing. No interceptions though, pretty surprising there. But Big Ben, 128 and 2 touchdowns. And that's about it from him. So three overall quarterbacks played for the Steelers in that game, which is kind of odd there. But rushing wise, Duke, another great game rushing wise, back to back, over 100 yards rushing games. 100 here exactly, 22 attempts, and 1 touchdown, 4.5 per carry. Le'Veon Bell, 59, 15 rushes, or 13 rushes, sorry. Isaiah Crowell, though, let's go back to this. Crowell had a 34 and a touchdown, so great game by him, too. But receiving wise, we have Corey Coleman, big game of the season so far, his first big game. 133 yards, receiving 8 receptions, 0 touchdowns. Let's sort this properly. We have Antonio Brown, 76 and 2 touchdowns. Dorial Green-Beckham, 57 and 1 touchdown, his first touchdown of the season. Malcolm Gilmore, 44. Rolamar Morosa, 29. And that's about it. So blocking wise, we let up sacks. So it looks like we didn't let up any sacks, or at least it wasn't blamed on any of our offensive linemen for sacks. Defense. Let's see what our defense did on those Steelers. So, Ali Godfrey, second-year middle linebacker from Ole Miss. 9 tackles in that game. Great game by him. Let's see the next one, though. Start by sacks. Looks like Emmanuel Ogbah feasted on the Steelers, though. 2 sacks, 4 tackles. Great game by him. Courtney Upshaw, one sack. Lacey Greenells, another sack. Jordan Grayson, half a sack. And Emory Youngblood, another half a sack. So, Emory Youngblood, Jordan Grayson, and Lacey Greenells having great overall season so far in their first season in the NFL. What's the interceptions? I don't think we had an interception today. We didn't. Okay, so back-to-back weeks with no INTs on the board. But kicking-wise, Sam Martin made a field goal, so it looks like he made a 49-yard field goal. Pretty good from him, because Travis Coons only made like 7 field goals last season. But let's see the rest. See punt return. I guess that's pretty bad there, but I mean, it doesn't matter too much. We got the W. That's all that matters right now is those wins. So we're 2-0 in the season. That's pretty good to see that. We'll probably, at the end of this, though, when we reach the Bills game, I might check out how Cole Colvin's doing with the 49ers, but might as well just go and sim to the next week right after we do all this scouting, because we have scouting points. I want to see who's number 1 in the NFL next year for the draft. So, before you do any scouting at all, let's go and check out the news. But the news right now, looks like Jameis Winston was signed to a 4-year deal worth $71.4 million with the Buccaneers. Glenn Matthews was re-signed. Randall Cobb was re-signed. Who else was re-signed? We do have... anyone else? Looks like Greg Olsen re-signed too, so a lot of big re-signings in this week though. Scouting wise, let's see the scouting right now for the first time here. And it looks like Michael Bradshaw going first overall next year. He's a left end. We got Poyer, we got Thompson, 2 left tackles. We have Cedric Autry, a wide receiver. We got Matt Beeler. Beeler's a pretty good name. Let's try Beeler though. He's not too bad, I guess. Pretty good talent right there. We do have a few linebackers too. We have Nickerson and we have Montague. Or Montagny? I don't know. Anyone else? You have Sinclair. The first QB, Kowalski. Is he any good? He's pretty good. I don't really know what to spend my scouting points on half the time, because our talent is almost complete in this team. So, right guard, I don't really know if we really need to do anything right now. Maybe left outside linebacker, but I mean, our talent is pretty much our talent is amazing in this team so far. At least young talent. So, let's go with the first overall pick. Why not do that? We could actually use him too as a left end. Poyer, we'll just see what his first stat is. If it's amazing, it's amazing. They're all right, I guess. Let's see Autry though. He's pretty good, but he's 7th round talent though. Really? That's actually pretty weak. 4th overall, our first bust right here. Looks to be Cedric Autry. It's pretty weird though. Let's see this defensive tackle, Landon Harvey. He's pretty good. Tuggle. DeMar Tuggle's pretty good too. DeMar Tuggle would actually be a good guy to add to our defensive line. So DeMar Tuggle, kind of want to get him next year in the draft if he can move up. But I mean, so far the draft looks pretty decent so far. Our first bust was found in Cedric Autry, that wide receiver. But now I guess you could probably move on to the next week and see if you could face off and actually win against these Kansas City Chiefs and go 3-0 in the season and number 1 in our division. You go 3-0 in the season after you beat the Chiefs there in, where is it? Was it even in Kansas City? No, it was in Cleveland too, so we won that one at home. So our first home game we won, I believe, there. Actually, yeah, never mind, we won back-to-back home games, but against the Chiefs though, we won 34-13, dominance by our offensive team. But let's check out this game though. So it looks like, wait, hold up, he better not got injured. Actually, no, he didn't. Cool. So it looks like Cooper Pop had 176 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. But it looks like Cody Kessler came in for 1 series, 16 yards passing, and 1 touchdown there. 158.3 passing rating, only in 1 play. But Alex Smith, 209 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Let's see rushing though. Rushing, Duke Johnson, another great game. Not 100 yards rushing once again, but I mean 95 is pretty good too, with 20 rushes for 95 and 4.8 per carry. But Kroll, 76 and 1 touchdown and 22 rushes. So Kroll and Duke Johnson, a great 1-2 punch there in the backfield. But looks like even Cooper Pop, 20 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, 1 fumble again. Let's see what our receiving corps are like. So looks like Dorial Green Beckham, great game out of him though. 73 yards receiving, 7 receptions, 1 touchdown. Coleman had 70 and a touchdown. Anyone else had big games? Malcolm Gilmore had 28. And I believe that's about it. Looks like Cedric Ferris though, 15 yards on his first pass in the NFL. Pretty good there, I guess. But blocking though, Joe Thomas and Eric Fisher led up sacks for each of their teams. And defense though, it's your defense. Sally Godfrey led the team in tackles once again, 9 tackles out of him, 0 sacks, 0 interceptions. Ogbud 7, at Eli Apple at 7, and Raheem Moore Sr. at 6. So it looks like Eli Apple is shutting down those number 1 wide receivers there from the other teams, because that's basically how we're winning, is our defense is playing so well. But sacks, Lacey Greenlaw had the only sack on the day for us, and 3 tackles. Interceptions, it looks like Will Hill had our first interception of the season there on those Chiefs. So great overall game by us defensively, that's probably why we won the game. But even Sam Martin though, 2 field goals by him, it's like almost more than half the field goals, or more than half the amount of field goals Travis Coons made last season. So Sam Martin, even better kicker than Travis Coons was last season so far. But punting, it's alright, I guess 1 punt is pretty good, I guess, considering how many drives we have. So great overall game by us, dominance once again. So we're 3-0 in the season. We're facing the Bills in Buffalo in the next week. So right now, it's probably go check out how the rest of the NFL shapes up right now. But it looks like the Ravens are 3-0 too, so they're still number 1, or tied for number 1 in the AFC North. But it looks like the Steelers 1-2 and the Bengals 1-2. So no unwinless teams in our division so far. But we're 3rd in the NFL, at least tied for 3rd with the Ravens and the Seahawks, or even tied for 1st, I guess you could say. So the Jaguars, the Seahawks, the Browns, and the Ravens, all great teams in the NFL right now. But let's just go how those those 49ers are doing. So 49ers, where are they at? They're all the way almost in dead last. They're 1-2, not too bad there. But I mean, the Chiefs 0-3, 0-3 Titans, and the 0-3 Cardinals. So it looks like the 49ers, they're 1-2. It's a pretty small sample size of how their season's going. But I mean, you want to get a good start off the season. They're definitely not with a 1-2 start. So let's check out how they're doing so far in their seasons. Let's go to their records and see how well our man Cole Colvin's doing at the helm. So their only W, first game they lost 31-3, second game they won 31-28. So let's check out this game though. Let's see how well Cole Colvin's doing. So Cole, he had a great game though, 33 touchdowns, 1 interception in that game, 261. Let's see the game by him when they lost though. First game of the season, he had a pretty bad game though, 97 yards passing, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns, and a 14.7 passing rating is not very good at all, at least what I've seen so far. But next game though, they lost again, and let's see how they lost though. Cole Coleman, not too bad of a game, I guess. 69.5 passing rating, pretty bad there, but 215, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 2 sacks. So, oh well, pretty bad game so far by him. He could probably pick it up though and have a great season though, even though they're 1-2 in the season. So, going into a bye week, maybe they might be able to go and make or break their season, because bye weeks, if placed rightly, like right after a loss, could go and maybe get you on a big winning streak that'll propel you into the NFL playoffs. So you never know what those 49ers are going to do out of that bye week. But hopefully they do well, though. I want to see Cole Colvin have a great rivalry with Cooper Pop in his career. But right now, 3-0 Browns. I guess we're facing the Bills in the next episode, but let's see the player that regressed, though. Why did he regress? Kroll regressed too, okay. So I guess maybe he's just not playing as much. It's probably why I regressed, but 77 overall, doesn't really matter too much, I guess. He's the same overall player still, but let's do a little bit more scouting, and we'll probably guess on the episode off right there. But it looks like Antoine Jackson was signed by the Broncos. It seemed like he's highly coveted, so I mean, that's probably why he got signed off for practice squad. But let's check out who we could scout, I guess, on here when it comes to the rest. So Poyer seems to be pretty bad, but Thompson seems pretty good, I guess. Nickerson, he's pretty good. Montague, well, I don't even know how to say that. I'm not gonna say it at all. Tuggle, Tuggle actually seems pretty good. Sinclair's pretty good. Venable, he's alright. He's actually pretty bad for a first round talent. And that, let's get the last one if we can. And there he is. So we got the scouting done so far for the season. Next episode will be that Bills game in Buffalo. So anyway, I guess on this episode off here, we're the 3-0 Browns taking on the Buffalo Bills next episode. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.